She walked into the barracks for the first time, a long, jagged scar slicing across her left cheek. The whispers followed her like a shadow. Some said she was in a gang, others that she was just trouble. They saw the scar before they saw the soldier. The training was brutal, designed to break you down and build you back up. But she had already been broken, and she had built herself back up long before she ever put on the uniform. The scar was a reminder of a car accident she'd survived as a teenager. A night of screeching tires and shattered glass that had almost claimed her life. The doctors had saved her, but the scar remained. For years, she hid it behind her hair, behind a shy smile, ashamed of the mark that made her different. But, in the crucible of military training, something shifted. During the grueling forced marches, when others faltered, she pushed on, the dull ache in her leg, a familiar ghost of her past injuries. She wasn't the fastest or the strongest, not at first, but she had a different kind of strength, forged in a hospital bed, tempered by years of physical therapy and quiet determination. She knew how to endure pain, how to push past limits that were more mental than physical. The first time she truly earned their respect wasn't on the obstacle course or the firing range. It was during a land navigation exercise, deep in the woods, with the rain coming down in cold, relentless sheets. Her team was lost, morale was low, and arguments were breaking out. The compass was spinning, maps were soggy, and they were hours behind schedule. While others panicked, she grew calm. She remembered the long, quiet hours she'd spent learning to read the stars, a hobby she picked up during her recovery. The clouds parted for just a moment, and that's all she needed. That way, she said, pointing with a quiet confidence that cut through the bickering. Polaris is there. North is that way. They were skeptical, but they were also out of options. They followed her. She led them through the dense undergrowth, her steps sure and steady. She used the terrain, the flow of a small creek, the moss on the trees, things others hadn't even noticed. Hours later, soaked and exhausted, they stumbled out of the woods, right at their designated extraction point. They were the first team back. After that, the whispers changed. They stopped talking about where the scar came from and started talking about the woman who wore it. They saw her leading the pack on morning runs, her jaw set in determination. They saw her spend extra hours in the study hall, mastering radio procedures. They saw her share her rations with a soldier who had run out, without a second thought. One evening, a young private, the same one who had once called her Scarface behind her back, approached her. He was struggling with the rifle qualification. She didn't remind him of his taunts. Instead, she spent 2 hours with him on the range, patiently coaching him on his breathing, his stance, his trigger squeeze. The next day, he passed with flying colors. He came to thank her, fumbling with his words. He finally looked at her scar, not with pity or morbid curiosity, but with respect. "Sergeant," he said, "I was wrong about you." She just nodded. She knew the scar wasn't a flaw. It wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a map. It told the story of where she had been, a story of survival. But it didn't define where she was going. Her actions did that. In the end, they didn't just see the scar. They saw the leader, they saw the soldier. And when she stood before them, she stood not as a victim of her past, but as a testament to her own strength. A woman who had earned her stripes, one grueling step at a time. The scar was just a part of her story, but her legacy was the respect she commanded, etched not on her skin, but in the hearts of those she led.